one of my highly anticipated figures for 2024. Let's check them out. What's up, everybody? Revoltech Amazing Yamaguchi THOR figure pose, whole bunch of figure poses. This is the pose here. This is the picture that I saw online last year. And I was like, wow, man, that thing is boss. I got to pick that up. And here we are. All right, let's get them out. The first blister comes with a bunch of lightning effects. And you can attach some to his legs, some to his arms. I believe maybe some to his wrists. This one goes to Mjolnir. You can plug it in certain places, like it's getting struck by lightning. Super cool. You've got the stand. Red flowing cape there. We're going to check him out. That is a boss stance. He has 1, 2, 3, 4 additional pair of hands for a total of 5. And then he has 1 additional face portrait with the long flowing hair and 5 face plates, which I believe are only functional with the helmeted head. But we'll check all that out. Let's get him out. Starting out in a little action pose featuring one of the lightning effects there in the alternate Mjolnir hammerhead. We also have one of the lightning effects there on his calf muscle. He comes with additional muscles, additional effects that you can kind of just snap on to his wrists, his forearms, his neck, his waist, his other shin, and he can be all electrified there for you. Also wanted to start in this pose to kind of like feature one of the things that popped out at me as kind of like an immediate impression. The size of his forearm in relation to his huge bicep and tricep and his massive shoulder muscles. I mean, look at all that beautiful sculpting. You've got some nice shading going on there. I swapped out into one of the open emotive hands. Give you a look at the tricep. Man, dude is super swole, super brolic. And the other immediate impression, kind of a little bit of a disappointment, was that this piece of his uniform or his outfit, these cloth pieces, are a hard plastic. And they're on pegs and they articulate, as you can see, and that steel plate buckle kind of like floats all around. When they rest perfectly there, the buckle is perfect on the belt. And it gives you that windswept look. But when you move it, it's obviously off the line with this belt. And it kind of just gets in the way for me personally. I would have preferred a soft goods piece with a little thin wire or even some soft plastic pieces. But just a design choice. And who am I? I don't design toys, you know, just personal preference, I guess. But overall, I think the figure looks dope, and the effect does look wonderful when it's there by his side, you know? You get some cape action in there, and together the two pieces, there we go. And together the two pieces give you a nice windswept effect. This alternate Mjolnir has the ports so that it can receive lightning effects, and the hammer is removed and you kind of like pull the hand on and off. There you go. Some other highlights in terms of the outfit. The dark blue and the steel plating here on the thigh portion of his pants. Nice sharp brown leather straps around the boots. But otherwise, not a lot of deco, but the sculpting looks absolutely wonderful. The steel plates have a nice metallic shine and they look great. And these tattered gloves look awesome too. Silver rivets, brown leather, black underneath. Quick look at the back. Something else that I did notice was that the shoulder blades, which usually give you that great range forward and back, In the case of this figure, they give you the great range backward, but they only give you so much range forward because they hit the steel plates that hold the cape. So that affects the dynamic range to the front because he doesn't collapse his chest plate here in the front. But I did test it out. You can still get your poses, no problem. And you can even get a little more range there by working, you see that, working that shoulder. So you'll get it there no problem if you want it. Look at that flex. That flex is crazy, bro. Hyper flex. So he looks dope. We'll get to articulation in a bit. Let's look at his accessories. We'll start out with a close look at the alternate head. Be careful with this one because it looks like you might be able to pull this faceplate out and swap on for the hair, but you can't. Everything is securely glued on, so don't break that. Close look at the hands. We have one of these on him right now. Some more grippers. And check this. We've got the fists and the weapon holding hands, but check this one out. This hand here has a slot in between the middle finger and the ring finger. His right hand and his left hand have that, and you can plug in a lightning effect if you wanted to do that. How cool is that? Let's look at the face plates and the face plate mechanism. So the helmeted head comes with that articulating hairpiece. It kind of like floats around back there so you can articulate with it. And when you remove that from the rest of the mechanism, you got the face plate, the helmet, and the ball peg. You just kind of like pull the face plate out, and we'll swap in this one, which is the one that I want to keep on. You also have like a yelling portrait, kind of like side eye. You've got a yeller looking to the other side. And you've got like a really miserable face there. Pretty cool. We will swap on this portrait just for the sake of giving it a look. Oh, hell yeah, that's dope. Hell yeah, I actually like that more than the one with the helmet on. That is a great look. So there's some generous room back there so that you can articulate the head. Really nice. Super dope. These figures are hyper articulated, and also they have the notorious critique of these ball joints at the shoulders and the elbows, and sometimes the gappage. But on this figure here, you don't really notice those ball joints at all because his forearms are so massive. You can conceal them as you work with your poses. Look at all those nice lines you get. And with the ball joints at the shoulders, because of the cape, it's going to conceal it most of the time. Those elements don't bother me typically because I feel like they flow with the overall contours of the profile of the figures, but it's a big gripe for others. In this case, though, you really don't see much of any of the gaps. You see a little bit of it here, and of course there by the bicep, but overall, this is a very, very clean sculpt. And it looks dope. Let's look at where all the points of articulation are. We have the double peg ball joint there at the shoulder, swivel at the bicep, your double peg ball joint at the elbow. Here, as I mentioned, you have those lat muscle butterflies that don't come all the way forward, but they will give you a generous amount of articulation backward. You see how his arm just came right up, and then you can articulate it forward again until it meets the cape. You have this upper diaphragm cut, which will give you great wobble. You'll get your full rotation and twist. It'll give you some back, and it'll give you a great range forward. Then you have the waist, and that gives you all of the same movement with additional range added to all areas. Look at that forward crunch. And when you get to the legs, They do not have the drop down, which is fine by me because I think that's like a pointless feature and it kind of like interferes with hip stability in my opinion. But he doesn't have that, thankfully. You get your Revoltech split where the hips kind of like rotate out a little bit. You got your upper thigh swivel that is on an angle. See how the leg rotates around? You've got knee. And because of all this stuff around here, you'll get it up about that much. But because of the waist crunch, look at that. That is tough. Look at that. Man, that is a wonderful looking figure, bro. Wow, he looks so dope, bro. Hell yeah. Kick out for you. All the articulation you need there. Your toe articulation up and down. And your rocker. Forward, back. He is definitely going to give you your hero pose. And he can nail the pose. But this portrait can't come up because of the hair. It doesn't articulate on this portrait, so let's swap that out. All right, nice look there. And you see that he can look up no problem here. He actually could look a little further up and give you all kind of good movement because the hair piece on this one articulates. It is a separate piece, as we saw. Very, very dope. Look at those crazy arms, bro. Hell yes. You know what? You're going to need those arms if this is your kind of weapon, right? Super, super dope, especially if lightning is going to be just striking you and coursing through your veins. Makes sense. This figure looks absolutely wonderful. Let's check out a few comparisons today. Let's go ahead and do a comparison of Thors for today's theme comparison. And for that, I will bring out first the Mafex Mighty Thor. You know what? I'm surprised by how they scale. This guy just felt like he was such a massive dude, but height-wise, they're right there. Look at his, look at his shoulder, bro. His biceps, his forearms. He is crazy, bro. His forearms are bigger than his head. Fighting armor Thor. Very unique Thor figure. Heavy as hell. And super dope, man. Not an Iron Man Thor combo mashup, but a fighting armor Thor. And that's a wonderful little figure. Very cool. And last but not least, I will bring out my Marvel Legends Thor. I swapped out for the hair, the flowing hair portrait. It doesn't have as good articulation as the helmeted portrait like we saw, but I like the look better. I think it looks better on him, more barbaric, more savage. Hell yeah, very, very dope. Amazing Yamaguchi Revoltech Thor in the house for 2024. Need I say more? Let me head for the door. As always, everybody, thank you so much for coming out and sharing in the experience of collecting toys as an adult. And I hope you're able to keep coming back and share some experiences too. Until next time, everybody. Thank goodness it's playtime.